Welcome to Discovering. Tonight, we'll take a look at what it takes to be a dairy farmer in the Upper Peninsula.
Milking cows is a family operation. It takes the whole family to run a dairy farm.
And Kristen talked with the Michigan Snowmobile and ORV Association. Stick around, it's time for Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
It's 5 a.m. and it's cold. The thermometer says 15 degrees below zero. It's a great morning to stay in bed, or at least indoors. But as the saying goes, those cows ain't gonna milk themselves. So each and every morning, the Pirman family gets out of bed and meets at the barn, where they are greeted by a friendly herd of waiting milk cows.
Well, the first thing you do in the morning is you sanitize the lines, get ready to milk. Takes about 5-10 minutes. The water's coming through these lines, going down, going through the jitter cups, the claws they call it, that go onto the cow. Make sure that it's nice and clean for this morning's milking.
It's a routine the Pirmans know well.
What's going to happen, she's going to open up this door, 4 cows, or hopefully 4 cows come in, not 5, and then we'll start prepping them and get ready to milk.
The cows know it pretty well too.
So the first thing, she's going to dip all 4 teats, 4 quarters on a cow. It's like a surgical iodine. Kills the bacteria, any bacteria that's on the teats. And then she's going to go back through and strip the cows. And that's going to stimulate the milk letdown. Get ready to put the milkers on. Yeah, the next thing she's going to do is wipe, make sure everything's nice and clean and dry. Dry is most important. She's going to put the milkers on. This cow here probably puts out 75 pounds a day of milk. We have some cows that'll be coming in, they're 100 pounds a day. 4 minutes on average per cow. So the milk on the farm can only be on the farm for 2 days. So today is a pickup. Every other day we get picked up. It'll be in Gilbert's by noon and on your shelves by tomorrow. Takes off the milkers and she's dipping it. That is a winter dip. Got a lot of aloe in it. Keeps the teats from freezing. Most important in this kind of weather. This is a grade A operation. There's no class B in Michigan, so grade A means that this milk is fluid milk that can be sold as fluid milk. So we're inspected a lot harder, and the quality has to be right up there. It's tested every other day. As you can see, milking cows is a family operation. It takes the whole family to run a dairy farm. This isn't my only job. I own a construction company too, so in the summertime we're working 8 hours off the farm to keep the farm. It's hard to make a living milking 35, 40 cows, which it shouldn't be. Back in the day, a family could make a living milking 40 cows, which was nice. So maybe someday it'll get back to that.
Milking cows in the winter is a little bit more of a challenge because it's colder. You don't want to wake up when it's cold outside or when it's a blizzard out to drive to the farm. And it's harder to move snow. The cows are a little bit more cold. It is what it is. That's why we live in the UP, because you still love being in the winter and you love being outside and snowshoeing and cross-country skiing, but you still want to farm and hang out with your cows.
The pulsators pulsate at a different rate for the front to the back. Back quarters hold more milk, the front quarters hold less milk, so you want them to milk out evenly. The less time you can have the milk around the cow, the healthier the cow is, the less chance of bacteria getting into the cow. Back ones actually milk faster than the front ones. The front ones are slower. Every one of these breeds have different components in their milk. The Holstein is known for milk production. They put out a lot of milk, but they don't have the butter fat and the solids for making cheese. So us being a smaller dairy farm, we try to go for our components. So they call it a higher butter fat, a higher solid. And the Jerseys, milking Shorthorns, Brown Swiss have a lot higher components. If you can't get it in volume, you got to get it in quality. This one here doesn't like to put her head through unless you escort her personally. She wants a personal invitation, so she'll just sit there and wait. The other thing that's pretty cool about doing these dairy cows is seeing the bloodlines. My daughter, and especially my boy, really involved in the genetics of it. You can see the mother and the next, the daughter and the grandma, and see how they produce milk. And it gets really exciting to see the next generation come in, see how they produce milk. We're going to check this cow for mastitis. What we're actually looking for is a white blood cell count. If it's got an elevated white blood cell count, that affects the life of the milk, the shelf life of the milk. What we're looking for here is this milk is going to turn to like pudding. The higher the somatic cell count, the thicker the milk. But she appears to be pretty good. So most farms, the tails are docked right here. But being a Gilbert farm, we can't dock the tails. Give them something to swat flies with.
Our milk gets picked up every other day and gets shipped to Gilbert's up in Marquette, and then it's pasteurized or flash heated and then bottled or made into ice cream and then put on the shelves for the consumer. There's only 66 dairy farms in the UP, and there's only 2 in Marquette County, us, and then DeVos over in Skandia. So Gilbert's is all UP milk. All the milk in the UP only goes to Gilbert's for grade A. We can't ship to Wisconsin. If we ship to Wisconsin, then we have to be a grade B, which it would be butter or other types of substances or powdered milk. Grade A goes to Gilbert's and then is pasteurized and then consumed.
We read the stick here, which is in inches and 30 seconds. And you convert it on the chart here to pounds. Comes out to 2782 for pounds. Record that on the manifest. We record the grade A permit number, the name of the patron, the date, the time, and the temperature. Then we're ready to take a sample after the milk's been agitating for 5 minutes.
When the milkman comes, he takes a sample of our milk from our tank, and then when he gets to Gilbert's, each sample gets analyzed for bacteria count, antibiotics, and the quality of the milk. And then if one of those samples is deemed unsatisfactory, Gilbert's will dump the whole truck, and then that farmer has to purchase the truck.
We're ready to start pumping.
We can't use any antibiotics or growth hormones. So if a cow gets sick and we do have to use antibiotics, they have to be milked last and they have to go in a whole different system for at least 3 days. And then we have to do what's called a SNAP test. We test their milk for antibiotics. It has to get sent to Gilbert's and they have to prove that it's antibiotic free. And then when we get those test results back, then they can go back in the tank. So it's pretty rare that we do use an antibiotic, just so the cow can still be actively producing and be put in the tank. We can't use any growth hormones. They can in Wisconsin, but Gilbert's has deemed no growth hormones in your milk. So our cows are naturally producing the amount that they produce. They're not added anything to it. So all the milk that you get from a cow and you get from Gilbert's is pure of antibiotics. It's pure of any growth hormones. And the cows have been treated very nicely. We get inspected every 6 months. They come out and inspect the health of our cows, the health of our equipment. We get a schematic cell and a bacteria count on every tank that gets picked up, so we know exactly what is in our milk and what's going on with our milk. So the State Gold Award is presented to members that have a schematic cell less than 100,000. And we have a couple of those up here. And then we also have the federal award over here. And then we have the award for 100% on our federal surveys. And then we have our gold and bronze award for milk quality, like I was talking about, under 100,000. And then this is the silver award for our national award that we got. So we got 2 federal awards, and then we have several MMPA state awards that we were presented for having quality milk. We feed our cows 2 different types of rations. This one is Sudan grass, and it's grass that has been cut prematurely so that all the nutrients are still stuck in the stalk. It gets baled wet, so that way that it kind of ferments, like when you make beer. So it has a high moisture content. And then the second one that we're feeding it's haylage and corn silage mix. This is all chopped feed, and it's chopped at a high moisture content, and then it's bagged. It's easier for the cows to digest. Cows have 4 stomachs, so they eat, and then it goes to the first stomach, and then it comes back and they ruminate it, and then it goes to the second stomach, and then they chew it again and chew their cud, and then it goes to the third, and then to the fourth, and then it gets expelled. So the UP ground is really low in selenium. We try to keep our cows' selenium levels high, and it helps with our pregnancy rate as well, so they get all their vitamin and minerals. Just like with humans, we try to make sure that they have a high folate prenatal vitamin, and that's the same thing that we do with the cows. So we're gonna feed the calves. We milk the cows, and the cows' milk we put into a bottle for our week-old calf. And then these 2 calves are 2 months old, and you can tell their difference. This one's a Holstein, so it's way bigger, but they're about a week apart in age. And then this one is a Jersey, and she's way smaller, and that's just the breed difference. They get grain every morning, which has got vitamins and minerals and cracked corn in it and some pelletized feed. And then they get their milk. And then Rory, our week-old calf, and she is a Holstein Jersey cross, both of those breeds combined. And then she's gonna be on her milk bottle for about a month, and then we'll transition her to a bucket, and then she'll be on milk for 3 months. And then from there, she'll get transitioned into our big heifer pen, and then she'll just be on grain and hay. And then when they're about 16 months old, they'll get put into our breeding program, and then they'll calf when they're a little older than 2 years old, and then they'll be able to be in the milk parlor. Cows are pregnant for about 9 months, just like a human. They cycle every 30 days, just like a human, so the reproductive tract is about the same. We try to get the girls pregnant with Jersey calves because they're smaller. That way they have a little bit more calving ease for their first time calving. And then after that, we kind of transition into Holstein, or what breeding we're going for at the time, depending on the cow. When they're born, the mom does it all by herself in the birthing pen, and then we'll dry them off. We'll put their coats on. We dip their navels with iodine so that they're clean. And then when they're 2 months old, they get vaccinated so that they're protected with the herd immunity. When they get vaccinated, they'll also get their ear tagged, so they'll become a member of the herd at that time. And that way they're just a little bigger and a little bit more full of attitude. This one's Melody, and Melody's a sweetheart. All the cows at the farm have names. Their first letter of the mom's name goes to the calf. So this calf's mom is Mary Jane, and that's why her name is Melody. And then that is Glenda, and her mom's name was Gracie, and her grandma's name was Gretel. That way we can keep track of everybody and who they belong to. That, and it's kind of fun to come up with odd names. And Rory over here is 4th generation. We milked her great-grandma Rosie, and then her grandma is Rena, and then her mom is Reba, who we milked earlier in there, and then we have Rory here.
So what does it take to be a dairy farmer in the UP? Well, a lot of work. All of that happens every morning before the sun breaks the horizon, and again every night.
The thing I love about dairy cows is I get to be with my family. I get to educate others about the importance of drinking milk and the importance of cow health. I love hanging out with the cows. That's my favorite part. I can hang out with the cows all day long. and never have a bad day either with the calves or with the cows. I love the hard work. I love the ambience of being in the barn. I love milking cows either with my best friend loves to come milk cows, my husband will come milk cows with me, and I think it's a great time just to chill and relax, and you get to do something that you absolutely love and share that with others.
I'm not really the milker, I'm the equipment operator, so I just do all the haymaking, clean the barn, make sure everything's running right, so kind of a mechanic too. So that's what I do on the farm, and that's what I like doing. I like operating and running equipment, working on stuff, taking stuff apart, putting it back together, figuring out how it works. That's what's fun to me, so it gives you a lot of opportunity to work on a lot of stuff, and that's what I like about dairy farming. And then being together with your family at the end of the day is always a good thing. So
it's a challenge every day. Every day it's something new. Sometimes it's pretty extreme, sometimes it isn't. It's the little wins that keeps you going. It's 7 days a week, 5 and 5, no vacations. But it's rewarding. You're close to your family. You got to work with your family every day. You got to count on them. Yeah, and every day your kids are with you. You know, some people discuss things around at the dinner table. At night we discuss our problems while we're milking cows. It keeps the family close, and I like that.
Snowmobile trails in Michigan are open from December 1st through March 31st. Many groups throughout the state help to keep these trails open, groomed, and maintained for everyone to enjoy. I caught up with one group during their annual snowmobile ride in the western UP.
I am Jim KELTS, current president of Michigan Snowmobile and ORV Association, also known as MISORVA. We are the advocate for the Michigan snowmobiler as well as the ORV rider in the state of Michigan. We've taken on the responsibility as far as ORV goes last May, so we're not quite into it a year yet, but we are actually trying to be the voice of the enthusiast in Michigan when it comes to legislation and come up with new ideas to make sport enjoyable for everyone. We are here this weekend to do what we call our annual ride-in. Every year we go to a different location. We ask members to come and anybody else who might be interested in joining us in the event. Well, of course we're up here to snowmobile, so that's the main course of the action, is to make friends, get involved, go out and enjoy yourself in this wonderful part of the state, and with lots of snow.
My name is Brian Vanette, and I'm from downstate Michigan, about 9.5 hours from here. We don't have any snow back there now. We're kind of snow-free. A lot of years we have snow. The group of guys I'm here with this weekend, we take care of our trails back there. We're actually groomer drivers and operators and take care of the trail system back where we're at. We came up this weekend to be part of the MISORVA, which used to be the MSA ride-in. This weekend we've roughly covered a 300-mile range of waters meet. We have been as far as Ontonagon, Iron River. We've been doing all the stuff that goes on. Yesterday we had a scavenger hunt and a poker run involved, and had a banquet and breakfast to get together with other people and socialize. It's a fun event. As you can see, we're some of the older members. We're hoping to get younger people involved. We know snowmobiling is a growing sport. We'd like to see them get involved and spend time learning and finding out what goes on to keep the program going. There's a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes that nobody ever knows about that happens in snowmobiling industry. It's a growing sport that brings a lot of money and a lot of business to the areas that need it in the wintertime. I mean, we almost all go north because that's where the snow is in the wintertime. We go looking for it. Michigan is a beautiful state with a lot of fun things to do and see. And there's places you can go in the wintertime that you've never been, that you can never see in the summertime. It's an experience that hopefully a lot of people get to see and enjoy.
will be a gun and knife show held at the new multi-use complex on the UP State Fairgrounds in Escanaba, March 20th and 21st. The show is co-sponsored by the Delta County Gun Owners Association, with 100% of the proceeds going towards helping to pay for costs associated with the WL Marble Museum and the new UP Military Museum. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week right here on Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.